Continuing on building our actions, we just finished the cross-process action. This one will be a sepia toning action. Sepia is that old-fashioned brown and white look. Looks lovely with portraits. It's very subtle and classic. Along with this, though, you also will get one of the steps. If we stop it, we can save this as a really good black and white conversion. It's much better than just simply desaturating your image. It's a really good black and white conversion that will allow us to either as its own set of action or an edit of the sepia tone action. When we're done, we can create that, and I'll show you how to do that. So opening up my actions flyout, here I am under my personal actions. Again, you can see my cross process is here. I'm going to create a new action. This time I'm going to call this sepia tone, and I'm going to record. This is very simple. I'm going to sharpen my layer just like we did earlier in the course. So I'm going to click on my background layer, and I'm going to duplicate my layer, and I'm going to call this one Sharpen, and I'm going to go to Filter, Other, High Pass. What the high pass does is it creates an image that is mid-gray with lights and darks, and when we change the blending mode of the layer, the gray doesn't affect the image at all. Only areas where it's lighter and areas where it's darker will be affected on the image. So the effect of that is to create a sharper image. So I'm leaving this here at about 3. I tend to like it around 2 or 3 with an image to keep it subtle. You just want to see the palest ghost of your image. And then here, change the blending mode. I'm going to go to Hard Light. And you can see the soft to the sharpen. You can see it mostly in the detail around the eyes and in the textures of the cloth. I see it a lot down in here and in the irises of the baby's eyes. Off, on, which is great. I'm going to leave this. You can actually change it to vivid light as well. Gets even stronger. I'm going to leave it in hard light. Soft light is even more subtle. I'm going to go back to my background layer again. I'm going to duplicate it. This time I'm going to call this my shadows and highlights, and leaving the sharpen layer on top so that it's always going to be creating that filter on top of everything. And this is not something we've done before, so I'm going to create an adjustment here. I'm going to shadows and highlights, and this here will allow my shadows to be darker and my lights to be darker, so it allows me to brighten things a little bit. So I'm going to set my shadows to a number between 1% and 10%. It's just going to brighten up my darks a little bit. I'm going to set my highlights to 0. And now I'm going to click on my curve icon, and I'm going to create a very subtle S-curve to just push my contrast the littlest bit. These contrast and sharpening adjustments will help when we take the color away. It'll help keep the image from being flat and just gray. So now we're going to turn it to the black and white conversion. So I'm going to grab hue and saturation, and I'm going to take my saturation down. Now I have a really nice, that's a very nice black and white conversion. It maintained the values, nothing got flat, it maintained details. Now if I wanted this to just simply be a black and white conversion, I could stop my action here and save it as a black and white conversion. The next step we're going to do will create the sepia toning part of it. So either way, you can still access the black and white version of it just by simply turning the sepia tone layer off when we get to that part. So I'm going to add another curve. This is going to be my toning layer, and if I want to call it that, I can, I think. Nope, it's not letting me edit it. Okay, this is the one that's going to give me my tone. I'm going to push my reds just a bit, and I'm going to pull the blues. The opposite of the blue is yellow, so I'm going to create this nice golden warm tan color to it. It's very subtle, it's very classic. You can go a little bit more extreme if you want. I like it subtle like this. And when I'm done, I'm going to finish my action by pressing the stop button. Now, what will happen by doing this is if I go through and delete all of this, yep, I want to delete all of it, delete all of it, drop all my stuff in the bottom, back to my original file. And if you just want to compare it, this is what it looks like gray. Or after I do all my editing, if I go to my actions and I come up here, we go, you can see all of the steps that I made there, high pass, duplicate. I'm going to collapse my sepia tone, highlight it, and press play. And you'll see all of my steps will automatically work, and this is how I apply my action when I'm done. If I don't want it sepia toned, all I have to do is take this second curve layer, turn it off, and I have my black and white converted image. Save that as a JPEG, it's a black and white conversion. Turn that on, it's a sepia tone. So you have a choice. You can save it as separate actions, or you can just keep it this way and turn that layer off, and you achieve both through this set of steps. The last thing I'm going to do is go back up to my personal set, and I'm going to save my actions again, which will give me, replace it, it's going to give me that set whenever I need it. When I open it and load it up, both sets of actions will be there.